All right. I got my man Conan joining me here. What's up, Conan? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Rob. Good to see you. Excited to be here and looking forward to it.
Awesome, awesome. For those who don't know, so Conan is my friend and client. We met on Bigger Pockets, right? If you don't know what Bigger Pockets is and you're trying to get into the real estate game, I'm telling you, you're missing out big time, right? Because it has all things real estate. When you want to learn terms, you want to learn about investing, you see that everybody and their mama have been through everything on that site. And it's just a lot of resources, calculators, everything, right? So check it out if you don't know what Big Pockets is. But yeah, that's how we met. And today we're going to talk about house hacking, right? Conan is the prime example of a house hacker. I'm proud to know this brother because he is bolder than the average person. And I have not seen many people actually, I don't know many people that has actually done what he's doing, right? So if you don't know what house hacking is, I'm sure you probably heard of it or whatever. It's when you buy a place, whether it be a single family or a duplex or multifamily, and you live in part of the house, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Conan. So yeah, and the way he's doing it is most people, what they try to do is they try to get a duplex, for example. They hear on Bigger Pockets, a lot of people say, hey, buy a duplex or buy a multifamily 4-unit or whatever, and live in one side, and then have people pay for the other units. And that way it'll either pay for your mortgage, or I don't know about these days, or it'll at least, pay some of the mortgage or the majority of the mortgage. And that way you can keep working and pay very little on your mortgage, right?
Yeah, I think what you're looking at is the traditional house hack has been looked at as duplex, triplex, fourplex. Yeah. You're going to live in one of those units, have tenants live in the other. Another option, as you mentioned, and the style that I do is getting the single family residence, getting multiple rooms, multiple bathrooms, and then renting those rooms out individually while still living in the house myself. Yes, has the same impact. Obviously, there's some differences, some similarities when you're talking about those different types of house hacks that we'll get into later. Yep. But yes, that's what I do as a single family.
Okay. Yep. So, and this is the thing. A lot of people, many people, they just can't pull that off because we're kind of Americans, I think in general, we're just kind of selfish by nature, right? Even family. I don't want my family living in my house, right? So, but the thing is, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and that way you can grow, right? So I'm always getting different questions from many people about the house hacking and stuff like that. So I decided to go straight to the source and ask Conan a certain set of questions. And I guess if we have more questions at the end, maybe you guys can drop them in the comments or whatever. But I'm gonna go with some of them that I got. All right, Conan, is that cool?
Absolutely, sounds good.
Cool. So let's see, what's the first one I got here? Okay, let's talk about the Realtor. First of all, what was your criteria in finding a realtor when you first started looking?
Yeah, a lot of conversations about the realtor. I have used many different types of realtors in the past. Okay. Whatever site you're using, they'll always have somebody that recommends, or maybe you've got a family that recommends a realtor, or maybe you even got a realtor in the family. Okay. For me, what's important about that is, are they an investor? Do they understand where you're coming from? So I'm not just looking for a primary residence that I'm going to live in for family, whatever it may be. I've got this particular angle that I'm looking at, how I want it to work out. Yeah. And I need to know that my agent's on the same page. So I have had different agents in the past. You'll show up at a house, maybe it doesn't look like it's in the best shape. You see a particular bedroom or you see an office, and in my eyes, I know I can add a closet, consider that another room, but that agent may not look at it the same way. So when you're visiting houses or you're looking online and you're trying to explain to that agent what you're looking for, and they're narrowing down your MLS search that they can send to you, the feed, it's going to make a huge difference, because I talk to many friends and many people and many agents who get frustrated because they feel like they're wasting time. Hey, I keep sending you all these MLS leads on the feed, and the person keeps saying no. Right. And it's like, okay, how do you define exactly what you're looking for so that you aren't wasting anybody's time? You're only getting the properties that are going to work, and you can sort of sort your criteria that way. Make a big difference with the right realtor.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, I can see that. So when you were choosing, I'm not making this about me, but how did you choose me? I guess I never asked you that when we finally got to working together.
Yeah. So with you, had senior profile on Bigger Pockets. You talked a little bit about that in the past. Yeah. I then went back through and saw some of your videos. There's some interviews you've done in the past. On YouTube. So I went and listened to those. And when you talked about the investing, and then again, for me, the travel aspect of it, which is huge, right? So that's a big part of my reason why to do this in the beginning. But that connection there, communication style, again, sort of similar passions there. And then when I reached out to say, hey, this is, what I'm trying to do. Receptive, willing to look at it, and always encouraging, and no hesitation, right? To sort of throw out and say, hey, here's specifically what I'm looking for. It's like, hey, let's do it.
Awesome. Y'all got that? See, I'm cool. Anyway, all right. So next question. When did you decide that you were interested in investing? Were you like, you've been like this all your life, or you just, as an adult, or what's going on? How'd you figure out your,
Yeah, so just a brief background on me is I work in real estate. I have for the last 20 years. I've been on the mortgage end of it as an underwriter. So really, when I started looking at it seriously was right around the 07, 09 crash. Going on. Having gone through that. Then again, we could do another video with the whole history behind it. But nevertheless, I've purchased foreclosures, purchased property out in Arizona. Ended up moving out to Dallas about 6 years ago for work. Purchased some homes out here as well. But that was really that time frame. I mean, again, everything sort of came crashing down. A very, very difficult time to be in real estate. But realizing after that, going forward, if there's tough times, there's layoffs, things happen, being in a position where
be ready.
You're ready, you're prepared, and no longer anticipating that everything's going to be fine. Right.
And we're waiting right now, hopefully, right? All we can do is pray. I don't know if it's going to happen, but hey, just be ready, right?
Looking for opportunities. Yep.
Yes, sir. Cool. So how long did it take you to buy once you first decided that you wanted to invest? Was that was the one we bought? Was it your first investment, or you say you did some foreclosures and stuff before, right?
Yeah, I've done investments in the past. So if we're talking about the house hack, specifically on that one, the background on that was it's in Dallas again. I'd owned properties in the past, but had never really heard about the house hack, and it actually ran upon a person called Craig Curlop. Again,
he's got a book, right?
Yeah. I think everybody can see the theme here of Bigger Pockets, right? As a place to gather knowledge. And I had been looking for a duplex or a triplex. It was incredibly competitive. Multiple offers, difficult to find. I started considering it, looking at it, read his book, and was looking at the single family and thought, okay, that's fairly interesting if you can look at that. And the conversation was about finding a 4-bedroom or a 5-bedroom house, 3 or 4 baths, the more the better, and being able to rent those individually. And so for me at that time, this was right after the pandemic, right? So I think this was in September or so of 20. We were already in contact with each other and had decided. So this was probably 6 months after I had read the book. Because again, there was a lot going on at that time. Everybody realizes that, it was just kind of a difficult, crazy time. So at that point in time is when I reached out to you to say, hey, I'm specifically now looking for a property that's going to meet the house hacking criteria. And like I said, I think that was about August or so of 20.
Yeah. What I just want to say while I'm thinking about it, what many people don't know about DFW in Dallas, Fort Worth area is multi-families. They exist, but they are extremely rare on the bigger scale, right? They say that it's only like 2 to 5%, if that, right, of homes here, because there's so many single family houses. We got so much land and they're constantly building and stuff like that. And the duplexes and fourplexes, for example, are, they're quite old and they're not building a whole lot of new ones. So just keep that in mind, y'all. It's a very small section of the real estate in the DFW area. Some cities have a bunch of them, right? But this is just not one of them, right? Let me see. So I guess I don't know if you already said this, but why did you decide to actually do a house hack instead of just buying a house?
Yeah, so with the house hack, what the advantage to it that appealed to me was, again, being able to reduce, if not cover, your mortgage payment. Now, again, had purchased homes, and I think typical somebody may purchase a home, you may live in it for a while, then move out, turn that into a rental, and people have talked about that. Again, there's multiple videos on that you can build up a rental portfolio that way as well. This particular one, what intrigued me about it, though, was being able to acquire the property and then have your mortgage paid for, or at least have a very small percentage of your payment contribute to the mortgage, and we can dive into more of that later on too. Again, so I'd initially looked for the triplex or duplex because it sounded fantastic, right? Have that individual unit. Again, after looking, it was just so competitive, interest rates, that switching over to the single family presented so many more opportunities because, as you just mentioned, there's more of them available, less competition for those particular house hackers we're looking at. Now, the flip side of that is you may be competing with people who are actually looking at it as a primary
to
residence,
buy a house. Yes, yes.
Right, that are truly trying to buy a home, that are not looking for the 2 units. So there's no perfect strategy. It's just understanding both sides of it, who you're competing against, what you're looking for. But nevertheless, to get back to answer your question, the opportunities, there were more of them available with the single family, particularly to make a cash flow and on the affordability and availability side.
Okay. I already know the answer to this, but I'm gonna ask you just for the, the people who might be watching. So I'm assuming you're going to continue to house hack?
Yes,
Okay.
we'll continue to do that. And yeah, it's worked out fantastic. It really has. So as I say, in this particular example, you helped me purchase this house. It's a 5-bedroom, 4-bath. And I've had multiple different tenants, and I use different combinations. Sort of started out with one, but I've used Furnish Finders, I've used Roomies, Facebook, and so a couple different, and also Airbnb, one of the rooms as well. So I'm working across multiple sites. So again, you're not cornering yourself or being completely dependent upon one site in order to find tenants.
Okay. That was a great answer. But maybe I wasn't clear. Like when I say continue, I mean you're going to continue, like you're going to do another one, or do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Still looking. The market has changed drastically with the rates. So it's more difficult to find something now that that cash flows.
I'm glad you got that first one.
Exactly to start off. But absolutely, plan on and continue to look and continue to do that. Absolutely.
I mean, if let's just say if the market was somehow to crash, I mean, would you do one more and you'd be done, or you can? I mean, if the market was good enough, would you? Yeah,
I'd probably do 2 more.
Okay, right? 2 more. So your goal is like 3. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
So with where I'm at currently, that would be the goal. Which at the end of the day, this is all really about being able to travel, have flexibility. Love to travel overseas. So that's another conversation, right? Too. And I get it. There's people who are saying, hey, I want to grab 10, 20, 30 of them. And if that hits the number, right? If that hits the number you're looking for, and that's your style, and people want to start a business, and then there's others who are saying, hey, listen, what I'm really doing is I'm looking for 6 or 7 or 10, total properties. Maybe 3 of those are house hacks, but again, it'll get you to your number of whatever it is that your passion is, or the reason why you're doing this.
Okay, cool. All right. So how long at this point? So how long have you been actually house hacking the house that you're in now?
So it was coming up just over 2 years.
Wow, it's been that long? Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Just over 2 years. And it's been, like I said, I've learned a lot, but overall it's been a very, very good experience. And just some of the things, like I said, as far as finding tenants, screening tenants, furnishings, and we can dive into that as much as you want. But yeah, it's been a little over 2 years.
Cool. Okay. So at this point, how many roommates do you have? And, have they, fluctuated, or what's going on with the roommate situation?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that. So as of today, had an Airbnb client who just left today.
Oh, so you're Airbnb in one room?
Yep. So I have 5, right? So there's 5 bedrooms, right? So to give everybody sort of a perspective on the house, again, it is 3,300 square feet, 5-bedroom, 4 baths. So downstairs, you have the owner's suite bathroom. You have a guest bedroom with a bathroom there that's kind of shared bathroom. Then upstairs, there are 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. And 2 of those bedrooms share a Jack and Jill bath. But it has its own. Okay? So what I do is the bedroom that has the Jack and Jill bath, I have done Furnish Finder with that. I have also had people off of Roomies who work in tech, and they'll sleep in one bedroom, turn the other bedroom into an office. So I'm actually renting both of those rooms to one person.
Nice.
Right? Then the other room that's upstairs that has its own bath is usually the one that I do on Airbnb. Downstairs, the guest bedroom I also do as a long term. So that one recently just had a police officer, a gentleman who was recently out of the military, went to the police academy. So he had rented that room for just about 16 or 17 months. So got out of the military, rented it.
Wow.
Went to the academy. Yeah.
And, a good amount of time. Yeah.
Exactly. So again, it's one of those where You could put long-term tenants into all the rooms if you feel that works. But one thing I do try to do is, if I'm going to do the long-term tenant, is I will just set up a 2 to 3 month lease initially. And I think what's important about that is making sure you get along with that person. Is it going to work? One of the things that I hear about is you'll set up, initially you want to set up a 12-month lease. Well, if you set up a 12-month lease and after 2 months you realize, hey, maybe this isn't going to work, who knows? Then you're trying to buy yourself or work yourself out of a 12-month lease. But if you do a 2 or 3 month lease, you can always extend it. If this is working great, everybody gets along, then go ahead and extend it for the remaining 10 months.
Okay.
On that one. So that's one of the lessons I found to sort of ease yourself into it, because I think there is a fear about doing a long-term lease with somebody that you know a little bit, but not really.
That's okay. That's really smart. Cool. Really smart. Did you say how many roommates now? Or
right. So right now, getting ready to move some minutes. So right now it's just one surgical tech.
Okay. So one. So you gotta
like
fill the rooms. Okay.
Yep. Exactly. So I've got the other listing. So we'll actually be renovating the bathroom downstairs at the guest bedroom that the police officer just moved out. Because that is the other tidbit of it, is as you're rotating people through, if you want to do upgrades, obviously
make it nicer.
Gotta wait till the person moves out, right? So he just moved out after being there for 16 months. So gonna renovate that downstairs bathroom, and then I'll relist that. And then the one that's upstairs, I'll either put that maybe back on Furnish Finder or a long-term tenant, some type.
Okay, cool. So did you know any of the people that rented the rooms before they moved in?
Yeah, no, I did not.
Wow.
And so for me, I know people who do rent to friends. I'm always hesitant with family friends. I mean, it can work out well, but then there always seems to be some tension as to, do you really need to follow the policies? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. What kind of friends so take that.
Family and friends can get touchy, right? Yeah,
exactly. So if you know that, but you feel comfortable, fantastic, do it. For me, I have not. Everybody that I've rented to, like I said, has been off. Primarily the sites that I use are Roomies, Facebook, Roomsters is another one, Furnish Finder. I tend to stay away from Craigslist. I don't know why they haven't updated, but there's no picture, there's no profile. It just isn't. It's
kind of creepy, right?
It just doesn't work as well. So I don't recommend that as one of the sites, but there's plenty other sites over there. That
sweet. That's funny. Okay, so with everybody moving in and out and going to work and all that, how do you collect rent? I know people want to know about that.
No, great question. And what I've done is there are softwares that'll do it for you.
Okay.
I have just relied on either Zelly, Venmo.
Oh, Zelle. Okay, yeah.
We'll take a personal check if that works out as well.
Okay. So on the first, everybody's got to pay.
Yeah.
Right, and it's been working fine.
It's worked out fantastic.
Oh,
haven't had any issues. I mean, with that, everybody's banking, everybody's got a phone. And they can download Zelly, Venmo, or a personal check and do that. So I haven't had any issues.
Okay, awesome. So tell everybody, I don't know if you have an answer for this, but what is the hardest part about house hacking?
Yeah, without question, the hardest part of it is doing a single family like this is going to be getting that privacy versus socialization, right? And understanding, do people need their own space? They'll want their own space, including yourself, right? Living there.
Yes.
So if you don't enjoy, being around people, or you don't enjoy socializing, maybe you do want to find the duplex or the triplex. One of the other things that I'll add in there, because it can cause tension, is keeping the house clean.
One
thing I do is I actually have cleaners come through once a month or every other week, depending. It depends on how many people I have in the house. Right now, I just want to I'll get it once a month. But the point of it is it will clean all the common areas. So that will take care of the kitchen. That'll take care of the living room, the dining room. They will also clean the tenant's room if they want that. Right? They can just leave the door open. I'll give them notice. The cleaners are coming through. But the bigger point is there's no contention then between who's responsible for cleaning up the microwave or the oven. Even though everybody's sharing it, you have those common areas. So that's a great way to avoid that.
Okay, and that's all included in the rent, right? I'm assuming.
Correct.
It's automatically assumed. I mean, it's automatically included. You're saying, okay.
Exactly. So I'll put that on the listing that you have. Utilities are included. There's Wi-Fi, Amazon Prime, and a monthly cleaning. Right.
That is a great tip right there, man. I that's very what's the word? Attractive. It's very attractive, I think, if somebody's looking and like, hey, they got somebody coming in to clean the place. So that's got to be. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you got any rooms available right now. That's weird, but okay.
Well, it's one of those that you could, yeah, no, the demand's there, right? This is
Oh,
by choice. Like I said,
okay.
this is by choice because the one downstairs, I want to renovate that bathroom. So that one's
Okay.
by choice. The other ones I'll have taken
Oh,
care
okay.
of in no time.
No time. Okay.
It's just in between being able to do that if you want to.
Okay.
Again, this is one of the difficult parts about it, right? Is
Yeah.
if you want to or you need to do some minor repairs, let's
Yeah.
say you want to repaint or you need to do some drywall work,
Yeah.
you're going to need a couple weeks.
Yeah.
In
You got to
between
work around everybody. Yeah.
exactly, to work around and kind of schedule and know. And I think that's another key piece is I've also staggered the leases so that everybody doesn't leave at the same time. Right? So
Very smart.
one of those rooms might be an Airbnb. Again, furnished finders usually 3 months roughly for what they do. And then you could put a long-term tenant in there that may be renting for you for 10 or 11 months.
Wow.
So at any point in time, you have income coming in, with the key point being you're never at zero.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Awesome. I think our time is running out, but I got one last question for you, Conan. I think Zoom's got some kind of limit, huh? I didn't know that, but it just popped up on the screen. So what would you do differently if you had to start over, if anything? Or do you think you kind of had it down from reading the book and you were good to go right away? What do you think?
Yeah, reading the book was great, but what I do want to leave you with is making sure your criteria up front is solid and you write it down, because one of the things is screening the tenants and making sure you're doing it fairly, legally. Again, not an attorney, but deal with your individual state, but understanding the FICO score requirements that you want, income requirements. Are you okay with somebody who works from home, or do you want them working out of the house? And understand background checks and what you're looking for so that you have that criteria in front of you, not just sort of a, hey, I'm opening the doors to everybody to move in. Again, with that single family, I'd say the same thing even if you were doing a duplex or a triplex, because having a bad tenant move in is something that will sour you on this style of investment very, very quickly. And there'll be nothing worse than going in and saying, I got a horrible tenant, had to evict, or had to do a cash for keys, which is usually recommended, just makes it easier for everybody. So you don't end up with somebody who's damaging the property. So I would set that up first. And that would be my recommendation is do it and just know in your mind clearly what you're looking for from a tenant.
Okay. Oh, quick question. Have you had to do that? Is that why you?
I have not. Look, I have not.
That's
luckily.
good. That's good.
But again, that's what I would say, right?
You're trying to get in front of it, right?
Right. It's trying to get in front of it and know, hey, you're talking to people. Everybody sounds nice over the phone. You're getting along. It's great, but you're never quite sure.
Never know, man.
Until they move.
People can get crazy.
Exactly. And likewise, just the flip side too is you always want to be treating equal through that as well. Okay, here's the same criteria. And if I'm saying no, this isn't going to work, here's why.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Conan, that's been all. This has been an awesome little chat here, bro. I am going to wrap it up because they might kick us off here in any second. I appreciate the time. I appreciate you taking some time out of your Sunday, man. And because I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. So I want to say good luck, man. And I'm loving seeing this whole thing unfold. All right.
Absolutely, Rob. I appreciate the time. And as always, man, that background you got to Iceland. I know I got San Francisco in the background. So looking good, man. And anytime, any of the follow-up or questions, like I said, in the comments, but I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks, man.